All right, everybody, welcome back to Inside Texas with the Girl Herd. I'm Angie. We also have Michelle and Devin joining us per usual on the show. So we wanted to kind of start off today with a little hot take that we saw on the interwebs, and I will let you all guess what school this guy went to in the comments below if you want to join in. But he made a comment about what exactly will happen maybe mid-season on the internet and the buzz surrounding what if Arch Manning needs to be benched. So, ladies, let's chat about it.
I feel like if we want people to guess, I had to go guess or I had to go look in the comments and figure it out. Like, where is this guy? Who is he? Like, why is he saying something like this? And we haven't all talked about our thoughts of what we think, this means or whatever. I mean, I can take it in so many different ways. Like, of course, creating buzz, like creating questions. He's new, whatever. Or is it that like we as a fan base love to be like, all right, maybe this isn't working for us, like question things, but I do not believe this. I don't think this is going to happen, and I think it's a lot of clickbait from a certain school.
I saw the tweet on my timeline as I'm like doom scrolling, right? And I like went right past it. Like I thought nothing of it. And I think that says everything that we think about Arch Manning. It's such a nothing burger because we're so confident in him. Yes, Michelle, to your point, the quote is all about our fan base. And I think probably a little bit of messing with us from last year with Quinn, because the Twitter online convo, it was a lot of pressure on Quinn and the thoughts and feels. Really, his last two seasons were like that, unfortunately, for Quinn. But with Arch, I honestly had to come back to this actual clip and watch it later, because at first I was like, whatever. Like, this is funny, haha. But in the reality, it's really funny how confident I am, and I think this group is in Arch. So yes, it's all about the fun, and we got not a whole lot to talk about till we lace them up at this point in the year, and so I think that's what it was about.
Yeah, I think it is so interesting, right? We'll talk about Eddie saying there will be a point this year that the internet is a buzz and people out of Austin are wondering if they should bench Arch Manning, which of course, right? Like you said, he has to throw in the city of Austin because what other school, honestly, I'm sure there are others, but the politics that comes with being a Texas Longhorn and being involved with this community, there is so much rip and roar and media and all kind of pressure surrounding our program of like, you have to perform or we're like ready to get you out. And I just think it's so interesting that everybody kind of plays on it. It is also a little bit of time right now. People are off. We're getting all the clickbaits. We're making people money based on like, quote unquote, like negative things that they can stream up and kind of get our fans all riled up, which they know, right? Longhorn Nation is going to be plugged in. They're going to see it and they're going to have a very strong reaction.
Yeah, Vince Young and Mac Brown, by the way, of course, they have their podcast together now. He actually just spoke on this, and he said when Chris Sims was out there, he was like, I straight up was like, I don't know if I want to be QB1 at Texas. Yeah. This is crazy. The thoughts and feels are crazy. And his question was around, is Arch prepared? And he brought up how really Quinn got not the best deal of how the treatment was and how the narrative was around him and how he really saw that same thing. So he feels Arch is extremely prepared for this moment, just like he was from dealing with all of that.
Yeah. And go ahead, Mish.
I was going to say, like, I remember we've talked about this before, like Colt saying the same, like, I'm coming off a year of a natty with Vince Young and like, how am I going to fill these shoes? And all these things. And so I'm sure like, Arch has lots of different feelings, like his name. Of course, there's all the questions that he got at SEC Media Day about like, okay, you're a Manning, like you're a celebrity in Austin. Like, what do you think? There's all this hype around this season, of course. And so what better way than for someone to be like, watch, y'all are going to be benching him mid-season.
Right. And I mean, we also came out of Media Day as like the overarching winner, if you will, of like who carried away, the spotlights of Media Day, whether it was about Arch or Sark or our entire team. So I think, again, people have to discuss it. And I also think it's interesting, right? Because we see this completely polar opposite opinion that Gronk has put out into the world and saying, based on preseason rankings, betting odds and talent metrics like blue chip ratio, he predicts Texas will win the 2025 college football playoff. And Arch Manning potential is something that he mentions, along with, our defense and amazing head coach that we have there. So interesting to see different sides. Obviously, we can take different takes on it.
The streets are saying that AI is a Longhorn. I mean,
yeah.
Clearly Gronk is. I love that for us, in this new day and age where we need to keep on sharpening our AI skills. It's nice to know that Gronk decided that we're going to win this. But I mean, for me, I think it's hilarious. Everybody was like, if you look at the comments underneath this, it's very hilarious. Of course, people are, once again, we're polarizing brand. The horns down gets you, it gets us money, but it gets them money too. So, hey, we're winning all around. But for me, I think like the biggest thing that stands out in this is Sark coming back, and then you've got Arch as a third-year but first-year starter. And I don't know, I've been putting a lot of thought around Arch specifically lately. And you mentioned like him having the name. I just think he's going to be one of the more unique stars when it comes to nepotism in his name, because he was raised very well. There were very strict rules around smartphones, for example, and just the way in which he leads his life. Like, if he did get benched, he would handle that better than any big name person who actually has an ego. So I just think we are a force to be reckoned with. And I think college football knows that. And they're getting like nervous because they won't be able to troll us anymore.
Yeah, like I find that I think the media and people that are outside of Texas talk more about Arch and Arch Manning's name than like people, not that we're not excited. Like, okay, let me be clear.
No, you got it. That's true.
Yeah. We're very excited, but I hear more about Arch than like anything else on our team. And it's like, how about how great our team has been and what, like who's returning and like our coach and how he's done. Like, it's immediately like, I'm excited to see Arch, which like, yes, we all are. But Devin, you hit it too. Like the way he was raised, the way he handles everything. We send videos all the time to each other and we're like, he cracks us up. Like, he's great at all of these media things. And he's like, stop. I'm just a regular player. I'm in college and I'm looking forward to a season and where we're gonna go.
I think it's also like what you said, he doesn't try to be funny. It's just like who he is naturally at his core. And that is what makes people truly gravitate to him, because he is so authentic and to who he is. He doesn't care. He's going to dress how he wants. He's going to talk how he wants. All of the things are going to be unique to him. And I also think it was interesting because we did a recent thing on our TikTok and social media and asked the lady fans, like, who is your favorite player? Who are you most excited to see? And we got an astounding number for Taff, which I also love to kind of see the balance there. There is a lot of mention of Arch, but Taff overall is kind of the MVP when it comes
to fan favorite.
Yeah, he's the fan favorite. And I love that. We also heard some people saying too, like, I'm excited to have a new favorite for this year. So I think that's also something really exciting for us to look forward to, is there's an endless amount of opportunity, right? We are going to see a lot of new faces on the field, and we are going to start forming all of these new favorites that we're going to have on this team. And hopefully they're going to be around for a couple of years for us really to get to know them.
Yeah, I think the other mention of here, Ohio State and Georgia, it just came out that we talked about this before, but it just came out even now as we like march closer to season, that they're still evaluating 2 quarterbacks in Columbus. And so I think that is very key for us as we have a solid, complete front, even though Arch is new in terms of starting full time. That to me is something that I'm going to look to in terms of how does that look in game 1? What's the flow with these quarterbacks and what ultimately is going to happen? Because it sounds like the head coach kind of doesn't know.
Or are they playing us? Probably not. Probably really don't know, but still figuring it out coming out of, but we saw that too with like obviously Michigan and coming out of a natty and how they had to play with it too. But man, that first Saturday of the season is going to have all of these games that we're looking forward to as well, and some of the top games that they also showed in the S&P, like what's happening.
Yeah, and I do think we're going to see a lot come out as the next couple of weeks unfold as camp gets started this week across the nation. But we're going to dive a little bit more into that after we hear a word from our sponsor, Luxe Kitchen and Bath.
This video is brought to you by Luxe Kitchen and Bath. Luxe has been offering high-end kitchen and bathroom remodels for 3 generations throughout the greater Austin area. With 5-star review after 5-star review on Google and Facebook, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, you can put your faith in Luxe Kitchen and Bath's award-winning designers and skilled craftspeople to bring to life that dream vision of your special home. But that's not all. Luxe's all-star team provides full remodels, large additions, and even commercial build-outs as well. So call Luxe Kitchen and Bath at 833-358-LUXE today. Or visit luxekitchenbath.com to discover where quality meets luxury and begin the process of transforming your home. Get a free quote today by calling 833-358-LUXE. That's L-U-X-E. Or by visiting luxekitchenbath.com. Link in the description.
We go into camp this week as we continue this like college football countdown until the big game in the shoe. And we are kind of at a precedent time, right? To be a Texas Longhorn. It's the first time we are ranked number 1 in the preseason. So what are you guys looking to see out of the team as they go into camp and start the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be interesting. I think everything we've already mentioned, the team staying healthy, things being on track. And one big question or thought that I had, and I feel like it would be so cool to like talk to a coach about this one. Like, your Jackson Joes and your players and where y'all are at. And I think coming out to that first game of the season, there's always got to be some level of nerves because like you can evaluate the other team too. And there's stuff you can look at and film from last year and plug in what's happening and what their changes are. But at the end of the day, you kind of like don't know. So I'm curious what Sark's mindset is and what the coaching staff's mindset is. It's like all you can do is get your side prepared, but truly like not that this would be the outcome for us because I know it won't. But like when you go into those first games and get punched in the mouth and you're like, dang, you have to completely reset type of thing. Like, I just wonder how that feeling is at this point in the season.
Well, and like what you prepare, are you preparing for the first game? Are you preparing for the first few? Like how you're going to change things and scheme things out. And we know Sark well enough to know that he has got like things in his bag and like doesn't all show them right at the front too. So I'm sure they're going to play with all of that, of course, in camp and as you lead up. And then at a certain point, they'll start moving to just focusing on Ohio State as the first game and then play with things from there on out. But I agree with you. Like, you don't want to hear of any injury reports. You want everyone to stay healthy, like as we lead up to the team the first game and the season, I should say. So.
Yeah, I think you brought up a good point. Having our running back room, knock on wood, as healthy as it is right now is something that I'm looking forward to because that is going to completely change all the things that we can do within our offense and the weapons we have and the secret little things that Sark probably has working up in his back pocket, and really just hope that they continue to stay healthy because it is going to be a very long season if all of these projections, like they're saying, are correct. And I do think it also brings another precedent, right? This is the first time we are number 1 in the preseason. Last time we won the national championship, they had USC favored over us. So what does that look like? How is that conversation echoing through, our facilities, and how are they going to maintain that high level of performance and excellence and, not really let that number 1 get to them?
Yeah. And by the way, it's likely preseason because it hasn't come out yet, but it's likely number 1. Everybody knows we're basically number 1. So it's just manifesting the future here. That's what we're doing. I think as we talk about all of this, one thing that I thought was really cool Inside Texas posted and reported on was the SP Plus ratings, which, by the way, I actually had never looked at, seen before, or really heard about, but it's ESPN's Bill Connolly. He did it for the SEC. So what is an SP Plus rating? It's this system essentially, which measures efficiency based on the opponent you're playing, and it's adjusted by play-by-play data. And it seems really deep and interesting. But the cool thing is it's forward predicting versus just past results. So with that being said, they do have Bama and Georgia ahead of us. We are 5 overall, 3rd in the SEC. So the reason being is our returning offense. We got dinged on that a bit. It's 92 with returning offensive effort. Obviously, a new quarterback has a lot to do with that. And so, I mean, again, we have a lot of confidence, but I'm so curious y'all's thoughts on the rating, what it means, what it doesn't mean, and what your thoughts are on Georgia and Bama as well, especially because we spent a little less time talking about Bama the last several weeks.
Yeah, I went down a rabbit hole. I also hadn't really gone down as I do of knowing all these things and looking at all these rankings and what they're saying about it. It's funny because you see these things and you see the part about the Longhorns and what the questions they have, and they have more questions than they do answers. Well, that's anyone, isn't it? We haven't seen really any team quite yet. So I'm kind of oh, okay, yeah, that's why they call them preseason rankings. And then we'll see. And of course, this is data driven and off of mostly what players are returning, which is what we've said a lot of times of we have some players returning. We also have a good amount not. It's not like we're just bringing back our full team. But of course, I think that's where Bama and Georgia are a little bit different than us in terms of what's returning and what's happening. And then I think Bama automatically gets some love here and there, but yeah, I mean, we have of the top 10 games that they're saying for this season, we have 3 of them ourselves, playing at Ohio State, playing at Florida, and playing at Georgia. So, and then of course with Georgia having our number all last year, there's going to be eyes on all of that as well.
Yeah, and I just saw a new report before we were talking, which is DJ Lagway walking around in the boot. So I spent a lot of time talking about that Florida game. I still think it's significant, but I think that development is also significant and it raises questions.
Yeah, I am interested to see too because it is so data driven, right? I think analytics have become a huge part of college sports and college football, but how do the rankings in this S&P Plus come out at the end of the year? Right? How accurate were they? I would be so interested to see those numbers and how they compare to what actually happens at the end of the year and who is winning the national championship, who's the top 5, those kind of things. But I do think we have to give Alabama some credit, right? They are still off of that dynasty and have the name of Alabama. They're kind of up there with us when it comes to that regard and what the weight that our names hold. They're going to continue to get recruits and they're going to continue to be a force, in my opinion, in the SEC because they do have a great program as well. And I think that Saban will still be kind of plugged in there to help, right? This is going on another year, and the program they had in Washington that they now brought down to Alabama is great. They had a great product there that they're going to just continue to build on.
Yeah, I don't know if my expectations are just super high for that head coach, but I have a big question mark about Bama for myself because I don't know. I think that there was a lot of old era pre-NIL with Nick Saban, and that's not anything on Nick Saban because Nick Saban is the GOAT. But I'm just saying, even playing field, and now you're looking at the Bama that you're looking at. I think you're right too, Michelle. It's the name. They're going to give you some points in that because it's your name. You're going to get some respect. And like you were saying, Angie, they absolutely do deserve that. Georgia, it shocked me a little bit, but I think that's because Kirby is very good at PR and he's all talking about their down year. And it's you know what? I think overall, it's interesting to look at this stuff. And I love the mix of where we're sitting. It's Arch's 3rd year. He's not a freshman, okay? Yeah. So he just hasn't been a full-time starter. And I think he has sat and weighed and measured, and I feel like he is just ready to be unleashed. So, I mean, that's what I thought when I saw the ratings, but I thought it was really cool to learn about it because I had never seen that before.
Yeah, same. I was even looking, I was like, what does S&P stand for? And why is there a plus? All of the things that I just didn't know.
Also, I love the phrase unleashed because that's how I feel. Let's go. I can't
stop saying it. I literally feel like I know that Arch is give me the rock. Let's go. And we get to be witnesses to all of this.
Yeah. I feel he's been in this little cage too of it's not your turn yet. It's not your turn. And I feel once he really gets the reins to go, he's nobody's catching me.
Yeah. So with all that being said, my big prompt for today was, is Texas a dynasty in the making, yes or no, and why? And, the reason why this came up was Des Bryant actually had a tweet. They were how many natties does this guy end up with? And it was a picture of Sark. And Des Bryant retweets it. By the way, he is very obviously not a Longhorn. He is from Oklahoma State, but he said one, maybe two. And I kind of got like upset. Like I read the comments, everybody was like, all right, Des a Longhorn, Des certified Longhorn. He said we're going to win one. You know, I'm happy about that. But in my head, I got the LeBron, like, not one, not two, not like that's how I'm feeling right now. So I'm wondering if that's how y'all are feeling, because I know like the feels and like the results are clearly two different worlds and realities. But yeah, I'm just curious. We got this likely preseason number one for the very first time. We've got this S&P rating. We've got Arch Manning, and it seems like the time is now, like we keep on saying. But like, truly, do we have what it takes to like get one, then repeat? Maybe get 3 in a row. Like, what's really about to happen?
That's how I feel. I'm like, if it's gonna be any team and any coach and any lead up, it's going to freaking be right now. Like Netflix, get ready. I feel like there's gonna be a documentary on this at some point too. Like, I feel like it's now, right? There's some kind of magic around our program right now. And I don't know if other people feel the same way. They're like, oh, yes, we're going into this and we're going to have a dynasty team. But I for sure know it. Like whatever sprinkle of special sauce has been sprinkled in Austin and over our team, but you can just feel it. And I think the team has this different mentality and this like confidence that we haven't seen in them in a long time, right? Like we had a ton of seasons where they're like, oh, they kept putting us in the top 25, kept putting us in the top 25. But I don't necessarily think the team believed it, right? And they didn't have that confidence built up that we see today.
Yes, like I want to be there, whatever. I don't hate like being a little bit of an underdog and like not, all these things that are coming out and us being like kind of mixed in the rankings and people having mixed feelings about natties and whatever. But like at the same time, like we are due. And you think about it, like Sark was under Saban when he was like going on the reign. So he's going to have no qualms about going on a reign and like just if we're winning, just keep going, keep playing, doing all the things. Who cares? Keep scoring, keep it going. So, I mean, I think, like you just feel this different era. We've felt it. Now we've been to 2 semifinals. Like, get us there now. Let's happen. Like, we want it. This team wants it. You can feel it. I think they'll do the same of like, all right, week by week, like just see how this goes. The season's long. Let's slowly, but
I'm cracking up because we do and they mad. Like when you said we're due, I'm like, no, it's so true. Everybody knows it. So we're due, they mad, and I'm honestly ready to argue with everybody online this season. Like
Same. And honestly, like this is the next point for us, right? Like this is the next point for us to be that caliber of a team that who cares? Are we the underdog? Are we not the underdog? We're still coming and we're about to run it down your throats. Like we don't care because we have the talent. And
they're still going to talk about us. We're still going to be polarizing. So we might as well just win the natties. Okay.
Back to back. Well,
now we're going to be insufferable. Bye.
I feel like we kind of already have been. It's who we are. It's in our burnt orange blood. But we're so excited. Great to see you guys. Leave your comments, follow us, and we'll be back next week.